Salutem Imperatores, welcome to Ironcast. My name's Anuki, it's time for a quick 1v1. I've got my tea at the ready, where's yours? Now this week's been a special week. We found a stray kitten in our barn, got her treated for ear lice, she's all better now, got her fed, so welcome to our sanctuary, little cat. Now that she's taken care of, I can introduce today's wannabe emperors residing in Lipany. I love this map. Introducing our first leader dressed elegantly in teal. They've promised to lead their people, the Malians, to a glorious victory. What is here? It's Crackety here. The next commander. We all know that human beings are born sinful. However, not this commander. They are as pure as the color pink. Rallying the Mongols, it's Recon. So the Malians versus the Mongols. This can only go one of two ways, and I only know one way, and that's outright trade war. To catch anyone that's not in the know, the Malians are considered an amazing trade civilization. They can get trade going early on and generate more income faster, but the Mongols also have the option of the silver tree. I don't think it is as good, but it's still decent. Under normal circumstances, I think the Mongols would attack early, and they probably still will. But should that early pressure not yield high results, then Recon is probably going to have to compete in trade to have enough resources to compete in battle. I doubt Recon will just sit around yelling at peasants for 10 minutes for a fast castle age. Not as Mongols. If they can inconvenience Crackety here at all, my experience of Recon on Mongols is they will. We already have barracks going down for both commanders. Crackety here knows what to expect. It's not going to be a chill to feudal age. It's going to take a while for people to build up, and I'm sure attacks will happen soon, so I figured very quickly we can do a message from our sponsors. Or rather, people who don't sponsor us and hopefully never will. These videos are not monetized, by the way, so if you see an advert, kick that monitor over, just punt it. And these videos should be in 4K resolution, but my favorite is 2K. That's the best resolution. So, Apple. Yes, Apple, very overpriced hardware, and also shady. In the UK, many colleges and universities are targeted by Apple to make them use Apple Macs, thus making people think that to be professional as an artist or a musician, you need to use a Mac. And it's not true. Get a standard Windows PC, you'll save so much more money. And also you can get a phone that's like 80% of the performance of an iPhone for like 80% of the price. That's pretty amazing. Anyway, that's a message from our non-sponsors. Ooh, I like this from Recon. Sending the bird up in the air and then retreating backwards so they have nice vision ahead. I see a lot of people using the Khan and their birdie sort of as they go in, and it doesn't provide you any more vision than where you stand, but if you retreat, you'll be able to see Recon's vision thus so. And the movements are announced. Can Recon find a way to poke and prod Crackety here, who has enough Donzo out to protect? Though is Recon trying to outwit Crackety and get behind the Donzo? Or is this just a happy accident? The ranged javelin throw of the Donzo is a problem. When it comes to hit and run, it's not the Mongols that have the advantage like they usually do. In this case, it's the Malians. The pink spearmen have a marathon to run. It's clear Recon doesn't want to fight. There's a forest they can loop around to try and get back to safety and avoid this conflict. I think Crackety here is going to be very stable into the feudal age. Already 4 huts and getting another 2 down for their pit mine to increase that gold income. So, approaching the 5-minute mark, I would say Recon is going to go back to the drawing board and figure this out from the feudal age. We have the silver tree as the choice of landmark for the Mongols, which means it is going to be a trade war. Happy days. I love a good trade war. Of course I do. I'm from the UK. was one of the major talking points of Brexit. There's too much choice of products on the shelves. It make confused. So the Saharan Trade Network versus the Silver Tree. That's what we're gonna get. And Crackety here has done a little investigation of Recon's settlement. I feel a sense of irony seeing the Mongols have to defend their gold with a tower after infecting the world of Age of Empires 4 with tower rushes. It's the post that just keeps on appearing on Reddit. I was raided by Mongol tower rush. Ban this strategy now. I get it. I get that it really sucks to see the same strategy over and over, but after spectating so many games, it's like the French Royal Knight spam. You know it's very likely to happen, and it becomes very easy to scout out. It's a lot easier to scout something out if you know what to look for. If they have a barracks on their Uvu at the start of the game, you know, look for that stone immediately. They are going to rush you if they have that, and you know what they are going to target. They're going to target your gold first, so get your lazy serfs to construct a tower, not on your gold, but in a way that irrefutably marks the area around that gold and the tower as your land. That is your area of influence, and should a rotten Mongol peasant step foot in that area, you pelt them with arrows. Anyway, I digress, but I hope that's helpful information. Crackety building a wall to protect their trade in the incoming near future. They'll build a marketplace in the corner here likely, and the terrain is quite favorable for Crackety. What luck! It'd be wise to use the elevated impassable terrain because no amount of cannon power will blow a chunk through the rocks. At least I don't think you can get up here. Based on what the map says. Still some sheep around here to collect. Are you gonna get them? No. Alright. On the other side of the cliff, we've got trees, which is nature's wooden wall. You could continue that wooden wall straight through the deer. Not just protecting your trade, but your base. And that pit mine will keep on giving the gift of gold for aeons to come. Crackety will take a slightly different route to my personal recommendations. How dare they disobey me? But it's mighty fine. Connect the green dots. Recon having a poke around, just, you know, looking again. Leaving the falcon behind, or the eagle, or the crow. I can never tell which one it is. This time, Recon's brought archers. You would think those shields from the Donzo would offer some level of ranged protection, but you'd be wrong! Recon, I think, wants to burn those cheap houses down for the Mongol raid bonus of 25 gold, 25 food. I don't think Crackety will like that. Recon's tactical command is going to be superior here, but only thanks to the tools they have to utilize. Those archers can just keep kiting. Well, it's the spears that kite. Crackety doesn't want the spears to stay alive because those are the ones that bear the torches. The Donzo is just not enough for Crackety, and they spent a bunch of wood on that wall. Not cool. With a military power rating of 15 for Recon and only 1 for Crackety. Is this how it ends? Are we done? Oh, they've got 2 now. Things are looking up. Isn't it going to take minutes to try and match this army? How many minutes worth of houses does Crackety have? Maybe that's the strategy. Build so many houses that the Mongols are too distracted to notice the birth of new children being injected with rapid growth drugs and then being given a spear and pointed in the direction of anyone dressed in a different color to them. Pointy end first, the instructor says, and off they go to battle. God, this is a dire situation. Recon's now targeting the pit mine, whilst the archers are hunting for anything else that they can get. One of them was almost a newborn warrior. This pit mine is going down, and Recon feels confident to just sit on this, not pushing for anything more. And I admire that risk assessment. I'm personally a safe player. I don't like to take risks. Small gains all the way. The Silver Tree is now moving over to the neutral marketplace so they can produce traders to get that swift trade going. I think this is honestly the best case scenario for Crackety here. This is the least, the minimal amount that they could afford to lose. If they had to choose something to lose, that would have been it. Looks like plenty of funding has gone into the trade system. Toll booths generating money and food out of thin air. And I don't get these toll booths. Like, I get the money, sort of. Not really, but the food? When I traveled through France and Spain to Portugal, I didn't have to throw chicken nuggets into the checkpoint officer's mouth before driving on and worrying if I've got enough biscuits to get past the next one. Like, I don't... Why food? Probably a balance reason. Anyway, Recon and Crackety are colliding again. That one single individual lone, very, very brave spearman just... I mean, they managed to make it to the warriors. Have a nugget as a reward. Now, how much of Crackety's momentum has been ruined? I don't feel as much as Recon would have liked. It really was nowhere near as bad as it looked. And if you didn't think that it looked bad, then yeah, worse than that. We got 2 town centers for Recon, lots of gold harvesting, also collecting the deer along the southern border, which they're now towering up. And later on, they can upgrade to get that yam network without the deer stones. All very resourceful stuff. 99 gold, 9 food per trade. The neutral market positions, it's not possible to min-max here unless you trade to your enemy's marketplace, and I don't think we'll see that happen. Not until we get a civilization with camels and have 2 cannons mounted on them. Looking at the upgrades, Recon's got the wheelbarrow, horticulture, and the broad axe upgrades. Whereas Crackety has none. Their mindset is, I can get everything I need just from trade alone. That's a powerful statement. Crackety is going to make another powerful statement. A small teal division are off to take care of business. Looking for Recon's corner marketplace to negotiate favorable terms. Though along the way, they're going to happen across a Gur with completely unaware villagers. Why not fire a few workers into the abyss whilst you make your way to freeze Recon's assets? Are they all going to die here? 2 more? 1 more? Oh, no. Great javelin throwing, by the way. It cannot be easy to hit a moving target. Well, I think that was more damaging than what Crackety endured, but Recon does have 2 town centers. They can have a quicker turnaround than an Amazon warehouse. But interestingly, Recon's lacking on the defensive garrison. They've got some archers and a tower here, which I think is getting upgraded with the tower slits. But even with all that, they're going to have to back away. 1 trader perishes. It's not like Crackety can just sit here now that the tower's upgraded. All Crackety can do is just kill the traders, and they won't be able to do that if they take more losses. And they're gonna take more losses if they just stand here waiting for them to arrive. 2 javelin throwers. 1 javelin throwers. Oh, wow. Now they just have this irritating flea as they pass by. Ah, did you feel that? Ah, something just poked me in the side. Here comes the response. Kapow! And the world is safe again. Now Recon got the Kurultai, and it was here. It has moved. It's zipping its way up to the newly planned wall, escorted by very few soldiers. It's scary how few there is. And it's not stopping. Is this ramming speed? What's the plan here? Now Crackety will witness its movement, losing a villager in the process. It's just gonna park right on the Sahara trade network in front of the towers? Crackety moves the trader to block its construction. Yeah, maybe bring in like 5 people was a bit of an underestimation. Crackety asserting themselves and enforces their worldview, which includes a beautiful palisade wall to keep the evil invaders out and freshness in. This is going to be an awkwardly long drive back. If this somehow makes it back without being destroyed, then I think there is legitimate cause for balance concern. Like, how far should a wagon be able to travel without being destroyed? Should probably be less than the length or width of the map. I mean, they make it outside of the walls and Recon's in no rush to go save it. Getting the swords and the shields out. That will turn the tide of these battles. The armor, I don't think, is something Crackety can deal with, but they're walling up. They want to play defensive. Their true intentions surely do not align with entering battles without cause. The Korotai ended up settling just outside those walls. Not a bad triage center for launching an attack. Will Recon bring any siege equipment now? Because I'm sure they don't want to sit there taking ranged fire from the other side of the Teal Wall. The Farimba garrison is ordered to be constructed with haste. Now you can train 5 units at a time, and the cost is all converted to gold only. So instead of an archer costing 30 food and 50 wood, each archer costs 80 gold. But you can only make 5 at a time, so that's 320 gold. It's absolutely awesome if you are trading, which gives you massive sums of gold, not having to rely on any food or any wood for basically a mercenary army. It's a sweet deal. Knock, knock. Who's there? It's Recon. Is Crackety here? Crackety sure is here. And it's Kurl time to die. With that Khan there, Recon is getting a 25% damage boost. They issue the order for the armor to be stronger. And then there's that healing on top. This sounds horrible for Crackety here. And yet they will fight on for honor and glory. Death is the coward's way out. Real javelin throwers stutter step their butts back to base and hide behind walls like real soldiers. And they're doing it. Another 5 fresh recruits. Let the beginning of the gate burning ceremony begin. This looks cool. This is exactly what I imagine when I think multiplayer Age of Empires 4. Recon has been requesting more crossbows in their backline for a few minutes now. The combination of heavy armored frontline and the armor-piercing crossbow backline will be deadly. With every second that passes, though, right here, and I mean in this location, even as that wall falls, is a fight that isn't happening in Crackety's trade line, which grows more opulent by the minute. Recon breaks through. But Crackety, I feel, has more lives that they can throw away for the cause, more gold to waste. What's it gonna take for Recon to punch through to that gold line? You can see their forces are dwindling. Still getting some healing from the Korotai. Crackety rushing out of the destroyed walls, chasing the invaders away. Are they going to take this fight all the way to the south, to Recon settlement? Does Recon have any surprises? Now, there was a siege workshop constructed here, and as it so happens, this was an overconfident, over-ambitious plan. They're going all the way back home, and Crackety will destroy these structures before they decide on a new plan. Just look at the gold income for both Crackety and Recon. Crackety nearing 3,000 gold a minute with 46 traders. And then you've got tax on top of that from all the toll booths. Recon, on the other hand, nearing 2,000 gold a minute. And there might be some fluctuations depending on how the traders are spaced apart. Sort of flickering between 1,600 and 2,000 there. Crackety is advancing. An army population just over 60, whilst Recon's almost half that. And the Mongols don't have walls. If you want to make a wall as Mongols, you'll have to settle with a line of towers. That's not easy to do. Passing by the Uvu. They've got a different target in mind. The villagers just trying to nonchalantly walk by. Just look as if you belong. Don't stand out. Well, it didn't work. Recon may have fewer numbers, but they do have one quality, and that's tough armor, which the blacksmith has upgraded quite a bit. You can see all that in the top right. Crackety, though, is splitting their forces. Very smart and underhanded tactic. Now Recon must do the same. It's not like they had a force to split. Why? Villagers, why? Well, anyway, getting more cavalry for Recon, I think, serves a few purposes here. Firstly, they'd be able to run around, with the division of forces. They could react to one battle, hopefully win that, and then go support another elsewhere. But Crackety is dividing once more. 3 separate locations to fight on. They really do have soldiers to spare. They'll be quickly replenished. Seems like they're going to win this fight on the eastern borders. So much action. What did I want to say? Horses for Recon. So 3 good things. Being able to move faster will help defend against multiple armies. Another good point is that they can catch up to the ranged when they are in battle. Crackety going for the traders again, but only getting a few of them. The last point with cavalry is when attacking, they could split the cavalry off and directly attack the traders, which is the biggest economic threat Crackety has, or at least the most obvious one. They still require food and wood, of course, but it's just not the obvious choice. Where is that food and wood coming from? Does Recon know? I know that Recon does know where the trade is. It's so much more difficult to keep tabs on where your enemy is getting their food and wood from. Crackety's assault has been cut down. Just a few stragglers remain. Now Recon has the larger military, and their worker count didn't diminish much either. Recon's defense was every bit as good as Crackety's. Does Recon attack now? Is it Recon's turn in this turn-based real-time strategy? This match is sicker than a Taika rebound. And whilst all that went on, Crackety did advance to the Imperial Age with the fort of the Huntress. We'll see how the Mangonel fares against that. It's just a fort that grants stealth, and from that stealth, warriors and gunners will deal increased damage on their first strike. But the biggest deal here is getting access to the Musafadi gunners. And with this level of gold income, because remember the Farimba garrison making 5 units at a time, for 960 gold, every 35 seconds you can make 5 at a time. 5 gunners every 35 seconds for basically just the trade that's going on. These are powerful units to pump out, and that armor that Recon has been reliant on, that has been a powerful tool for Recon, will run out of batteries. Recon, the wise commander, made a tower here. I like how vision play has evolved since the start of Age of Empires 4. Top commanders now do spend more into gathering intelligence reports to make better informed decisions. And has somehow Recon managed to figure out where Crackety is going? They're moving in the same direction, and I'm not sure how they managed to gather that information. Perhaps they were just able to see inside the Khan's vision range. The Mangonel takes a good, clear shot. Flanked from the rear, but if Crackety wasn't retreating 5 seconds ago, they aren't retreating now. And this to me looks like a distraction. Think of the units they sent. Think of where they were fighting. Crackety sent durable soldiers that will take a while to kill one direction, whilst their main bulk attacks where exactly? That didn't seem so coordinated as I thought. I thought there was a great plan in mind. I guess I was wrong. I expected to tune back into the marketplace being destroyed in the eastern corner. Instead, it doesn't seem like Crackety had moved far at all. Now they're lingering around the town center as the cavalry charge head first. There's a few teal cavalry passing through, but not enough to cause Recon any harm. They'll easily clean up this battle here too. The raiders have a quarry with the shepherds. Leave them alone! Conversion coming in. Hear my words! Whoa! Hello, hello. I'm not sure if they died of natural causes there. Ah, yes, it appears that right at the time he was stabbed and shot with several arrows, that he died of old age at the age of 23. All three of them at the same time, another mysterious case solved by First World Police. There's still some rebellions going on in the kingdom of Recon. I'm wondering if Crackety is also attempting to test Recon's micro and stress management. You know, can you handle all of these events going on in different places at the same time? It's a strategy which definitely favors someone with disposable income. You don't really care about efficiency. You just get the whole box of cornflakes and just pour it on top of the bowl and eat whatever you can that morning. Who cares if some of the soldiers don't land in the bowl? It only matters that they are covered in milk. The white stupor of milk, welcoming Recon to the age of Imperials. It's a much more tourist-friendly Uvu that's also encased in pastures for sheep and a couple of siege workshops. Though I'm thinking, do they want to double produce mangonels, which is what I think Recon might be thinking, which would be an additional 600 stone on top of the original cost. With the Mongol upgrade, you can get a reload time reduction of 35% instead of a normal 25%. But I still don't think that they just want to start smashing buildings. Surely getting access to all of this trade, 57 traders, would be the way to inflict maximum damage to Crackety and hopefully get closer to that victory. We've got stone walls going down here. Not that I think Recon has shown any interest in this location, but you can't be too sure. See what university upgrades, just a couple left remaining. And my other thinking is maybe Recon wants to get trebuchets. But I just don't think they're feeling comfortable enough that they can protect such big machines and go on the offensive like that. Especially with Crackety calling the next shots. Attacking from the north. Is this just another distraction? Recon has been trying to get more towers down, gaining some vision. Again, they're going to have to split their attention. Cavalry raiding Recon's silver tree. And Recon knows what's up. This plan has been the plan for the last two attacks. This time, however, Crackety is attacking both ends of the trade. Recon slow to respond. Many traders will end up dying this day. And of course, Crackety could just blow up the marketplace. That would stop all the trade. Recon's casually making their way, shuffling in like they've all taken bribes. Come on, have a bit of urgency. There's 3,500 annual gold at stake here. Can't you recognize how buggered you are without it? The marketplace destroyed. Recon immediately spends money to make a load more. This is just like the COVID response. You should have invested in preventative measures. Recon's backbench taking large sums of corporate Mongol money to screw over the great people of this civilization, and they are just gonna cut loose and run, leaving Recon's once glorious nation to the Crackety Crows. These villagers are easy pickings, and you know why? Because they can't afford a home. They work 12-hour days butchering sheep, and no matter how hard they try, there is always more sheep. Or is it a sheep? No, it's a mirror. You're the sheep. Wake up, sheeple. You're all voting against your own self-interest. Rocks flying in from above. It's quite literally the end of the world, and you can't see it. The new Malian world order is upon us. Although, now that Recon has gunners and bombards, maybe everything will be okay? Oh, God works in funny ways. God, you joker. With that, though, Recon has been hurt, but how hurt? The next few minutes will tell. They still had some petrol in the tank, but Crackety is running on electric. The size of an army is one thing. How fast you can replenish is another. And sometimes it's far more important. I think right now it is far more important. 4 trebuchets and a culverin, but it's the culverin there that's the deadly thing. That's going to absolutely dominate any siege Recon brings, and I feel like Recon was really hoping that the mangonels would get some great shots off. Wow, look at that line of soldiers from Crackety. Unfortunately, a vertical line of soldiers is inferior to a horizontal line of gunners. Column formations? Yeah, cool. There's a gunner at the back there just chilling. Doesn't want to get too involved. It seriously does feel like many of Recon's troops are paid actors. Oh, is the culverin going to survive? Yes, it does. Now, it seemed like Recon had won the battle, but Crackety just fell back and rallied some of the soldiers. Have they rallied enough, though? Still more reinforcements coming in. And if we compare between the two, like how many new soldiers fresh from the Kingdom of Crackety and newly trained from the settlement of Recon, I think we can see the effects. The numbers do not lie. 45 to 20. More interestingly, you can see the impact that raid on the marketplace had. Recon slumped down to 1,000 gold a minute. It's a recession. Recon is struggling to find 2 gold coins to rub together. Compare that to the 4,000 gold a minute from Crackety's untouched, affluent commerce industry, those bloody capitalistic Malian empire. Ooh, double mangonel and a teal blob to paint red. It's a good hit. But that culverin is a good shot. Crackety smashes one of the mangonels with ease. Now Recon has to deal with 4 trebuchets putting the hammer to their buildings. There's no more pulling back that they can do. The only ground to lose is no longer no man's land. Where do they go? What do they do? How do they bring back stability to this world they've created? They've brought back the new Trade Stimulus Act, so we've got traders back in action. It's only 50 to 25, so, 2-to-1 ratio military-wise, excluding war machines. That doesn't sound impossible to do. But the thing is, it's that replenishment again. If Recon does kill everything here on screen, Crackety has stockpiles of resources to get through. Recon does not. The battle lines are drawn once more. Light cavalry leading the charge for Recon. The Khan inspiring their ranged units to fire less discriminately, which means they fire faster. Crackety rolling the culverin up, snipes the last mangonel. Recon's gunners are winning this battle, as they have done so many times before, but we've been sold this tale 1,000 times. I'm starting to not believe it. Even as Recon advances forward to potentially tear apart some trebuchets, it's just an illusion that Crackety here is cast. The outpost prevented from being raised. Crackety has yet another rallied force at the back, and here we go again in no man's land, where an endless stream of expendable teals. It's a Teals on Wheels deal. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet, and Recon just can't gobble enough these holidays. Okay, so it's back to Recon settlement for the holiday. The gunners become the new front line. That's not a desirable thing, but it could be an indication that Recon's momentum has hit a new milestone low. Not a cause for celebration. Fleeing again. New spearmen just going in there, just raising their spear, getting a good poke in. Every little helps. Fighting in the streets, but Recon's ranged aren't trained for melee, so they're easily being defeated. So many villages together in one spot. Be an easy way for Crackety to claim a decisive victory by butchering them all. If only they had a mangonel. Many of Crackety's troops, though, don't seem to have a good target. They've got trebuchets. You don't need to hit the buildings. Go hit the people. The shepherds remain task-focused. They aren't allowed to run from being killed, otherwise they will just lose their job. 70 to 4. 3. Oh, we got a new recruits going in, and immediately the numbers just go down. The Uvu is depleted, so the white flag is raised. The Mongols have been defeated in a legendary battle. Congratulations to Crackety here on their Malian victory. This was a good one, but there's no time to reflect. If you would like to see more casts, you can subscribe and leave comments or join the Discord. That ought to do it. For now though, my name's Anuki and this game went on a little longer than I had planned, so I'll see you next time.